If you're a man under 30 and feeling lost in life, this video is specifically for you. Now, in a world full of so much distractions, you have so much going on in the online era. People are feeling, kind of lost, and it's getting swept under the rug. So just having an experience with talking to other guys, it's not something that is brought up in discussion, right? Like, you don't hang out with your boys and you're like, man, feeling like life is just, what's the purpose? What's the meaning of all this? Feeling down, feeling like, man, what do I even do with myself, right? Obviously, we're learning things as we go when we're going on this, journey of life. But it's not something, that's really talked about too much, especially in like social circles. And it's getting swept under the rug like something's wrong with you, right? But, the true purpose in someone's life is, finding what is really like meaningful to you. Like, that's what I classify as your purpose. What drives you? What's something you can get up in the morning and, you would do it without even making $1 from it, right? But it's something you can't do all the time. Why? Because, you need money from either a job or doing side jobs in order to, get around in the world, right? Because, money pays bills, and bills is kind of, mandatory. So when there's so much distractions, right? That's kind of why the whole 40-hour week was even designed, right? So it keeps you in work long enough just so you forget about your dreams and aspirations just because you're so tired those 5 days of the week. You get a 2-day reset, which, you think is your time, but really it's to reset you for the next 5 days. So seriously, you have to trade 5 days to get 2 of your own days back. Time is the most precious resource that we have. It's the most appreciated asset, which is why most people trade their time for money, right? And that's why the rich kind of buy their time back by hiring people to do, same work and stuff like that. So if you're working at a factory, right? It's deliberately and intentionally designed to keep you in there because you get those 2 days off, but you're really resetting. And when you get to those 2 days, you're not trying to think about work or do something that you, even some things that you enjoy, right? Because you're either too gassed out from the week or, you have other responsibilities. You want to have a social life and things of that nature, right? You got to do, even just basic stuff around the house. Like, that counts. And that time, those 2 days, they go fast, right? Because, Friday, it's like, shoot, I just got off work. Sometimes you can go out. Sometimes you can do things you need to do. Saturday, you have kind of the day off, but then you're like, shoot, tomorrow's Sunday. And then, of course, you get to Sunday, and then it's like, well, shoot, tomorrow's a work day, Monday. So, with all this distraction, all this noise going around us, I noticed that it's a lot of young guys, especially under 30, who aren't like being fulfilled. And the truth is, if you're not fulfilled in life, if you don't have like a true purpose of, what are you living every day for? Truth is, that purpose, it just won't come to you. You have to go out and you actually have to find it yourself. So by finding it, you have to be very like intentional with this. Okay. Because the only way, I've seen when people, like, oh yeah, my purpose just hit me one day. These guys are usually like 40 years old or above, right? And if you're young, like when we're in our 20s, this is the most like crucial point in our lives because we're kind of like building a foundation for the rest of our life, what we want to do and everything like that. So if we just fuck off the next decade of being in our 20s, we're not really going to get to a deeper meaning until we're 40. And then by that time, you can't really take no chances on what you like doing because at that point you'll have responsibilities, you'll have less energy, you'll be kind of stuck in your ways almost. And not saying that you can't get out of it, but it's much easier to do it when you're 20 over being 40, right? So I want to go over, what do you do, right? As I mentioned, you want to be intentional. Being intentional means this is kind of like the forefront of what you think about. Okay, what makes me happy? What do I enjoy doing? What do I, what makes me move? Like, what moves the needle? What actually is enjoyable? Like, what fulfills me in life? Okay, so honestly, if you just think back of being when you were a kid, right? When you think as a kid, there wasn't a question of purpose or being fulfilled, right? You kind of were just there, almost, right? So you're just kind of like existing. Versus now, I mean, if you're like 20 plus, you're questioning everything, right? Because that's when everything starts getting real. And when you were a kid, right, you didn't have no responsibilities. Okay, that's one. Versus now you do. But you could be just so in the moment, right? And I just remember being as a kid, like, I've honestly hated school almost all my life. Like, I damn near have PTSD of it to this day, because just waking up early in the morning and going to a set routine. I mean, because I was kind of bad in school. Like, I would always act up. I would always be kind of the class, disruptor. I was one of those kids where they when they had like the mini desk, like the individual desk, and they put them in groups of 4. I remember the one time the teacher set it up in like a horseshoe, right? With all the desks connecting, except mine. Mine was like way off in the corner. Right? One time I was over by her desk, which is in the opposite corner. So if we have the desk were like this is like where she would stand. This is her desk. Oh God, I hated her. This was her desk. She had me, like, I was either right here at one point, or over here is like the door. All right, imagine the door's right here, and then my desk was like right here. Okay, so I don't know why that's stuck in my head, but basically I was one of them kids, right? So I'm just almost traumatized by school. Okay, but I remember always getting off of school, or like summer breaks, just having that freedom as a kid to literally just exist, right? And obviously things aren't going to be the same as when you're a kid, because when you're a kid, you're kind of ignorant, and ignorant is bliss, because you don't actually know the real world problems going on. You don't know what's actually like going on in the world. You're kind of just told what's going on. But I mean, if you're under 18, anybody under 18, honestly, I just let them be, right? Don't try convincing them to live a certain life, or, oh man, you have your whole life. You got your whole entire life to, figure stuff out. Like, just let these kids, figure it out. Because when you turn 18, I don't get how they expect us to know what we want to do for the rest of our lives when we're 18. Like, seriously, like, it's so stupid. And I hate that we're kind of fed this lie into it. But, it's just kind of like the world we're in almost. So, when you go back to thinking as a kid, right, you're just existing, like, meaning of life, like, just question, like, is the best of yourself really at the top of a mountain? Or, bottom, like, say you're at like the bottom of a sales funnel or something like that, right? Like, is this really the goal? Or if you're at a mountain, up here, is that really, like, is that really going to fulfill you? Okay, because money's cool. Of course we need money, but money does truly only solve money problems. And imagine if you had all that money. I mean, then what? Are you just going to be a degenerate and, just blow your money? You don't want to do anything, Like, helping people Just even little small things in life. If I could give anybody just a small bit of advice and they use it and it, helps them in a positive versus a negative, I consider that a win, and that's very fulfilling to me, right? So if they have more positive than a negative experience, that's easily a win, and that easily fulfills my fulfilled meter, right? Imagine we had a meter right here of 0 to 100. If I'm down here, a little bit of advice I give somebody, it's positive for them. Oh man, it honestly feels great, right? Until it comes back down slowly, and then I'm back here again, and then I help somebody else, and then and it comes back up, right? So that's kind of something you got to think about, and just remember, try to remember who you were, right? Who were you before the world told you who to be? So when you think about who were you, this is a life where, I don't know, you ever seen the one meme? It's like everybody comes in, we're coming into this world, we're all different colors, right? Let's just pretend this is our colors. And then we're all basically fed into a funnel. And this funnel comes in to where then, we're all the same color, essentially. Right? So then you have everybody, and that's essentially the class of workers, right? So if we were here, we're all right here, our different colors, our different personalities, what makes us us. School system feeds us into this funnel, and we come out, right? We're all it's just a great life. Okay? And when you start thinking in that aspect, it helps you get to the root of, who you are. And it is a tough journey, by all means. But when you're intentional, right? When we go back here, it's not gonna come to you. You have to be, intentional when you're trying to find it. And honestly, it's more of a whisper than a shout, right? And you could have like one of those rare cases where it takes you 40 years of your life and then something hits you. But why wouldn't you rather just do it now? Right? We'd rather have things now. And the sooner you can get on your purpose, the sooner your life is honestly just going to be for the better. And you'll stop having that lost feeling. Because I just remember waking up every single day. And this was like almost a 5-year period in my life. Just feeling so lost. And I would try to find the answers in like social media, or I would just, I'd scroll to try to find stuff. I would search everywhere on YouTube, but honestly, it's within. Nobody's going to tell you what your purpose is. This is a job for only you. Only you can figure it out. Right? So only you can figure it out. And when I'm saying this, I'm saying there's no one on a YouTube video or on a TikTok reel or on Instagram that can tell you, hey, maybe your purpose is this. Hey, maybe your purpose is... No, this is a you thing. And if you're not intentional, it might be too late. But the best course of action is to start taking action now. Because what do they say? The best time to start was yesterday, but the second best time to start is now. When you start getting intentional with this, only good things can happen. Thank you for listening.